We are live here back in CKMS, Sound FM 1.3 on the FM dial, and you're basically tuned into the weekly trending fandom show here in CKMS, and basically if you're hearing us live through the radio, I'm quite impressed because we're not transmitting through that because due to our actual transmitter being down, which is very unfortunate. But however, dear viewer slash listener slash reader, we will be basically broadcasting through their ways fairly shortly because the actual powers it may be of this actual station bought the new component that we're looking for, and we'll be broadcasting momentarily. But however, during this transition slash difficult time, you can always hear us through the Rogers Television Network, which is basically on 946, and that's channel 946. Plus, on top of that, you can stop by the station's website and hear us live through your favorite media device at www.soundfm.ca, and by clicking the actual sound button slash listen button, plus site, which is www.wtf.show.com. You can hear us through that website as well by clicking on the listen button. Plus, on top of that, you can always see us live through our Ustream component, which is www.wtfshow.com/live. And with that being said, we just finished talking about some movie stuff. Let's talk about some comic stuff as well, if you don't mind there, new girl.
I love comic stuff.
And basically, we'll wrap up our segment with today with that. So with that being said, comic stuff. What do you think about, Wednesday was New Comic Book Day. They got some new comic books out there and stuff like that. Some interesting things coming down the old pipeline. But however, what do you have on your docket?
Lately, the comic book stuff that I have been into, and that is because of a very special cameraman that I know.
Okay.
Has actually been in the Batman comics.
Batman.
I've read a couple actually recently, but the camera guy's way more familiar with them than I am. Because
so you're talking about the new person that
I'm talking about the new camera guy who's over there.
Back and forth as a comic book enthusiast.
He is actually known as Lord Batman at Medieval Times. He's the guy I was talking about on Tuesday.
Interesting. So, new camera person, known as Lord Batman at the Medieval Knights restaurant stuff. Interesting.
Let me preface first by saying that I am a Batman enthusiast.
I gotcha.
However, I am a very poor geek. Therefore, buying Batman comics is rare.
I see.
However, I do believe that Batman is nothing but pure badass.
Okay.
I was originally inspired for my love of Batman, not by Batman and Robin, but of course by actually the Batman Arkham games.
Okay. Interesting. So you're more of a video game enthusiast than you're a comic book enthusiast?
Yes, by far. But
right.
But Batman, he's awesome. He's just a dude. Yeah, he's just a guy. Yeah, he just has a bunch of money. But you don't mess with Batman. If you do, all your limbs are going to be very, very broken.
Well, new camera operator person, let's have a couple of questions for you. What do you think of Damian passing away, especially the New 52? What do you think of that particular story arc?
That would be news to me. I'm not going to lie. But
are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with Damian Wayne and all that, and I know he was a little brat.
And you know the transition between the old DC universe and the New 52 universe that's going on? You know the difference between the two Damians?
No.
No? Okay, well basically...
educate me.
Yeah, very quickly here. I'm not going to educate you because I had to charge you money for that. But anyways, moving forward in that vein, supposedly Damian Wayne was actually a clone of Batman. And there's actually a fight between the female villain in Batman actually brought Damian to the forefront because what happens to the female villain, which I can't remember right now because of mad cow syndrome.
It's okay.
Basically cloned Batman and wanted her own Batman and raised as a child moving forward.
Everyone wants to own Batman.
Exactly. Whenever the New 52 switched over, Damian actually became his real son.
Okay.
So the thing is that what happened from all of that, you actually have a pure Batman and Robin connection that's taking place, a very strong bond between the two characters. Plus, on top of that, you still have all the old Robins still part of the Batman franchise. But however, what took place is that Damian is bratish, as you mentioned before.
That's a big
very, very forward in what he does. So like a prince, if you were, more or less. Very spoiled child type of thing, which makes sense because when you're Bruce Wayne's kid, you get away with certain luxuries such as that. But however, the thing is he's fighting a villain, basically fighting as best he possibly could, and the villain just ripped him apart with his sword, which was
awful.
Incredible. And basically you have this child who's thinking like a child, who's basically a superhero, basically falls by the sword of the villain that particular week.
This is the second Robin that has unfortunately come to their tragic demise too.
This was a very tragic milestone because the thing is that all the previous Robins, as Bruce Wayne / Batman was attached to, it wasn't his own son.
But he always treated them.
Exactly. Whenever in the storyline, this was his own child.
That's
that
awful.
Died. So the thing is that they had this fantastic silent comic that came out of basically Batman trying to get over the death of his son, and it was absolutely amazing. Probably one of the best comic books that DC 52 has come up with to date.
That's
which
amazing.
I'm very impressed with. There's like no words in it whatsoever, and it's just pure comic book storytelling, and I highly recommend this actual comic book. Especially something we're going to plug in very quickly, especially on Black Friday. Plus, on top of that, if you go to the fantastic comic book shop on King Street, they're having a fantastic sale.
So excited.
And the thing is that if you can, I highly recommend people picking up this issue because I believe it's only going to be 99 cents for it today.
Really?
And that's international store hours. And the thing is that all the information is actually on the Facebook group. And the Facebook group, once again, for that is www.wtfshow.com/Facebook. So the thing is, if you can, log on to that, find the coupons, clip them out, bring them in, and just basically support Black Friday.
Go local businesses.
Yeah, woo! So, I got a bit of a tangent here. I apologize, but the thing is that, yeah, that comic book was absolutely fantastic. But the thing is that you brought in the whole Batman franchise through the actual gaming component. And what do you think of how the Batman character is being treated through the actual game franchises?
I think that they have done a wonderful job. Obviously, they all focus primarily on Batman and Joker.
Yeah. Joker played by Mark Hamill.
In the first two, yes. Yeah. Mark Hamill and, of course, Batman was Kevin Conroy, which was amazing. Yeah. In the third one, it's a prequel. They had to replace those two voice actors. Yeah. But the people that got to replace them, I was quite surprised. They actually did a really good job. Yeah. And the storyline wasn't... It started off strong, kind of piddled off at the end there. But with the first two games, they really, the characters really were spot on. They were really exactly the way that I imagined they would have been. Okay. It wasn't like a Joel Schumacher movie where he just sort of just did whatever he wanted.
New camera person, you're tugging in a heartstring with me because no one on the show knew who Joe Schumacher was, so I actually brought it forward. Yeah. And the thing is that Joe Schumacher, as a director, is a fantastic director. But the problem is that you put him with an actual comic book franchise, and he loses his freaking mind!
Just don't include tights in Joel's fine.
Exactly. Also, to prove the point, did you know Joe Schumacher actually directed a comic book called Bob Wire?
You said it again.
That came out from Dark Horse. Plus, on top of that, he also directed Alien 4. So the thing is that, again, it's based on a comic book. So the thing is, people are like, I don't like Alien 4 because the alien's a white thingy and it's new and different and stuff. Again, on the fantastic Joel Schumacher production.
I wish you guys could see his face right now. It's so amazing. Every time he says Joel Schumacher, he contorts his face.
So the thing is that Joel Schumacher's the director. Fantastic. But again, give him a comic book franchise. He goes, oh, we're going to do campy stuff for Batman and add nipples. Yeah, and a back card and blah, blah, blah. People are going, what are you doing? Bad Joel Schumacher.
And don't forget puns.
Exactly.
Lots and lots of puns. I wonder who had to write all those.
I think the writer is probably dead because he made his
I think it was actually a slave team of children.
How many ice puns can you come up with, kids?
Please let us go, mister!
That's ice.
It's awfully cold of them to leave that on.
I guess we're skating on thin ice on that one. But however, we always walk that blade of humor. But however, moving forward with stuff. So basically, one thing I was going to ask is that what do you think about the new Batman game that just came out? Because I was with 2.0 down in Toronto. I sort of caught it on the corner of my eye, and it looks so photographic real. It's crazy. But what do you think about this? Have you played it for starters?
Yeah, I've beaten all three of them.
Oh wow, that's cool. Okay. 2.0 will be jealous of you, by the way. As for a game itself, third one is a good game. Yeah.
It has some things. It's done by a different company.
Montreal.
Rocksteady did the second one, and then this one's done by Warner Brothers Montreal. Yeah. It's generally the same. The combat they did a couple of tweaks, so it's a lot of things I'm even struggling now to get used to because the second one I was awesome at. You could ask a new girl.
He's so good at that game.
Yeah, but the third
is he silly?
Watching it makes me happy.
But the third one, it's like the storyline. The storyline is good. It has some good twists in there. A lot of stuff is sort of recycled from the second one, though. The boss fights weren't as interesting. Some of them were just recycled from the second game, and some were just flat out just they just did the same fight like 3 or 4 times.
I got you.
But overall, they are good games. The second one's still the best one. Third one, I think is at the lowest, but it's a matter of preference.
Some of the download content was really good for the third game, though.
Yeah, they have actually one interesting download content pack they're coming out with where you play as Bruce Wayne before he became Batman, and it's during his training.
Wow.
And so that should actually be really cool. So I'm looking forward to checking that out.
Is that almost like a Batman Zero? Because one of the few things in the comic book aspect of this was to release Batman Year Zero, not Year 1, but Year Zero.
Yeah.
Which going through the training process.
Yeah.
Year 1 was pretty good
like
too.
Interesting. Yeah, which it'd be cool because in the second game you play briefly as Bruce Wayne. You go into Arkham City, you go through the gates, stuff's going down, and then Penguin tries to pick a fight with you, break his little hand, and then you a bunch of thugs as Bruce Wayne. And
I dig it, man.
And I thought that was really cool. So the fact that they're bringing that back in the third one, I think is going to be really cool because it's one thing to kick ass as Batman, but quite another kick ass as Bruce Wayne.
No, I dig it, man. I dig it.
I actually got to watch the camera guy playing through the Mad Hatter level, which is additional content, if I understand.
Wow, I haven't even
No,
heard
it's a
the
side.
Mad
It's a
Hatter
side
being
mission.
used in such a
Oh,
long time.
he was probably the most visually amazing part of that game. I got to watch it. I actually got beckoned forcefully into the room to watch the whole thing. It was so cool. Get here right now! And I came and watched it. It was a mind trip. The graphics were fantastic. It just took... when you're watching some of the Batman TV shows and you get into the Scarecrow stuff, and it's all mind warpy, twisty, crazy, this took that to a Wonderland level of mind warpy, twisty, crazy.
Messed up on basically drugs, walking through Wonderland.
It was
pretty much what it was. It was
so
cool.
good.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Very
That's
true to the Mad Hatter in the animated series.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Wow, that's a breath of fresh air. It was absolutely fantastic. So, are you more of an actual video game enthusiast?
Oh,
or an
yeah.
actual comic book
I've been
enthusiast?
playing video games since as far back as I can remember.
Really good. So, you know what a cabinet game is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Because I was on this new website on Facebook talking about cabinet games, and this one guy was talking to me. He said, "What's your favorite system?" Of course, me being who I am, I went, "Cabinet games." His reply goes, "What's a cabinet game?" I so wanted to just go through the computer screen and go through his cell phone and pull him into my room and just beat him soundly, but I can't do that because of an anime thing and anything else.
Well, one day,
But
technology.
Actually, that's funny thing. Just recently on the Weekly Trend of Phantom Show, I posted a while ago, is they have this new interface now that people could actually. It's sort of like a mouse pad, but it actually tracks actual movement. And the other part of it is that those basic imprint with, you can imprint your hand or it's using that technology, and it actually moves stuff around on the other end of the screen.
I saw they're actually working on developing, if anybody's ever seen Iron Man, another comic book character, but in the actual movies, he has 3D movement technology.
Exactly, but the funny thing is that what this is that this is actually real physical technology.
I know,
what you can do is actually on the other end of the computer, basically play around with a ball, smack it back. And
they use it for surgery and stuff like that too. Exactly. It's really awesome.
I'll repost that link on the Weekly Trending Fan.
That'd be so cool.
It was really cool to see. So the thing is that I'm hoping one day I could reach out across the actual computer
strangle people. It's so good.
It would be awesome. But however, the thing that I'll release it, I'll find that link post again. I'll post it back on the page. It's really cool to see, and I highly recommend people checking that out. And we'll do that after we're on our broadcast today. Cool. So anyways, so one day games will hopefully be like that. It would be kind of crazy. And I think it's a fantastic new interface. It basically, I think it will completely replace the mouse altogether and bring that next step in technology evolution, which I'm very excited to see take place.
It's very exciting.
Yeah. So anyways, back to you. Sorry, a bit of a tangent there. So the thing is that, again, you're more of a comic book video game enthusiast or just a video game enthusiast?
I'm a Batman enthusiast.
Okay.
I'm a video game lover.
I understand.
Cool. My video games have been pretty much my entire life. They've been what I've done with all my spare time.
I'm assuming you're part of this WBN thing as well?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
She dragged me into that. Really wasn't into it at first because I'm not. Because there's a certain level of nerd that you have to be to go.
I am like that level of nerd.
She coaxed me into it. She's like, "There's some cute girls there." I was like, "Okay, I'll go."
Girls, sign me up.
Yeah. There could be any girls there, and then I was sold.
Awesome. But so your character in WBN, is it a dominant character, is it a side character, or is it a background character? And I usually know someone who's an NPC here in the season? Those
For a while, he was a background character. He
Okay.
was
just checking stuff up from the shadows.
Yeah, he was a bodyguard
Had his little
for.
cape on.
Yeah, he was a bodyguard for
Batman
one of the rich guys.
All right.
And for New Girl's one NPC.
Cool.
And then eventually he sort of has branched off on his own, and now he's starting to kick ass and take names and
What's
starting
your
to tell
character's
people. Ademska Volgin.
Dempster Vogue.
Ademska Volgin,
That
which is a
sounds
Metal
very,
Gear
very
Solid
cool.
3 reference time.
Oh, there it is.
Mhm.
Yes.
And ask me if I play that game, which I don't.
I love Metal Gear Solid. That's disappointing.
No,
Aw.
the thing is, don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing the game. It's just unfortunately yours truly doesn't have time for video games. And every time when I do
that's
time for video games, it's always fighting video games.
Yeah. Well, it's not really a
Mortal
video game.
Kombat, which is my favorite video game franchise of all time.
Well, if you ever
That's
feel
just
like
me.
sitting down and watching a movie, then you just play some Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, true. Or just click on YouTube and watch it.
Or you can do that as well. It's true.
That's one of the few things about video games that really surprised me in the last 5 years or so, because basically becoming, I don't say the video game play itself is becoming less, but seems to be more movie oriented,
Yeah.
like such as you complete X, Y, and Z task, and the next thing you know, you're watching a 5 minute, you know, production of
Yeah.
something that's
Yeah.
mind blowing.
I think they're doing it because they were getting all these accusations that video games were causing ADHD,
What
and
was
so
that? What?
video games
Oh.
were being accused of causing
I like this guy. He
ADHD.
gets it. A lot of people don't get my little jokes. There it is.
Aww.
But anyways, no, I get it. I get it. Interesting stuff. But however, ADD is what fuels the actual weekly training fan. Yeah. So that being said, I think we're gonna do a quick wrap up here, and I thank everyone who's braved the actual cold and rolling out of bed for our quick broadcast for today.
Yeah.
And to let you know, we'll be back here again on Tuesday, 12 to 2 here in CKMS, Sound FM, Sound FM. And with that being said, this is SSU. Thank you very much for joining us today. Hopefully see you in the next broadcast. And basically, again, join all of our creation shenanigans online. We're right now using Facebook, and our Facebook URL is www.wtfshow.com/Facebook. And all the things we talked about will be reposted on there. And we'll do what we can to get this broadcast on the YouTube. And following that again is www.wtfshow.com/Facebook. No, YouTube. So, I am Reese Sepp. Thank you very much for joining us. This is New Girl here, plus the new camera person guy. And again, we'll be back on Tuesday. With that being said, thank you very much for joining us. And we'll be more than looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday. All right, see you guys.